Hi, this is T. Foxy Wyckoff, and this is Let's Talk Business and Real Estate, where faith, hope, and determination comes alive. And you can't talk business without talking real estate. Oh, the Lord will bless your barns, and He will bless your hands and everything you put them to do. The Lord will bless the property in which He's given you. Tune in to Let's Talk Business and Real Estate on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on the Boss Up Houston Network.
Hi, pretty people. I'm back with you today. It's Wednesday and it's 8 p.m. straight up. This is T. Foxy Wyckoff, and let's talk business and real estate on the Boss Up Houston Network. Today, we have a great show for you. We're going to be talking about business now. If you can recall, we were talking about credit, and there were 3 segments in that. So now we're moving to Let's Talk Business. And on today's show, we're going to be talking business and how to start a business and the different types of business. Now, some of you may be afraid to start a business, but if you do anything for money, that's a business, okay? Whether it's legal or illegal, it's a business. But we're going to be talking about legal business, not illegal business, okay? Because we want you to be able to create wealth for yourself and for your children, which is called generational wealth, which keeps going and going and going. So we want to do things right, okay? So, as I stated, we're going to be talking business, and we're also going to be talking about the different types of business. Now, you say to me, wow, Miss Wyckoff, how is it that you were talking about credit and now you're talking about business? Because really, to be honest with you, business and credit goes together, okay? Now, not the credit that you're thinking of, but business credit. However, rule of thumb is to make sure that your personal credit is intact. So that way, once you go into business and you get your business credit, and if something were to happen with that, you can always fall back on your personal. That's rule of thumb, okay? So that's how they tie in together because they do go together, if you will. Some of you may be talking about um, maybe starting a business, or you may have that idea in your mind and you say, oh, it's just so hard. It's actually very easy to start a business, especially in your larger states, if you will, because they actually offer those easy annex buildings where you can go and file your DBA. So, just to let you know, that's what we're going to be talking about. Business, business, business. How to start your business and the different types of businesses. I want to recap. So, allow me to recap. I'm going to recap with the credit aspect of it, okay? So, with your credit, once again, that was the first portion, which were 3 segments, okay? Now, remember, we're moving into the business, and then we'll also talk business credit as well, okay? So, this is Let's Talk Business Part 1, okay? But to recap on the credit, you have to pull your report through free annual credit report. Of course, it's free. I keep saying free because I'm so excited. However, you don't get your credit score with that. Then once you pull those 3 reports, you have Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Once you pull them, you look over them. You're looking at your addresses, you're looking at your name, you're looking at your date of birth, you're looking at your good accounts to make sure they're reporting right, Make sure there are no lates in it, especially, if you haven't been late. You're looking at those, if there are any charge off accounts, and you're looking at those collection accounts, okay? With those collection accounts, you're looking to see if they belong to you. Quite frankly, when you get your report, all three of them, you're looking to see what belongs to you and what doesn't belong to you, because we have so many scams. So, with having said that, we're just going to reiterate that portion for about 5 minutes, okay? Once again, you're looking at your name, your address, your date of birth, your active accounts, any charge off, and any collection accounts, right? And then you'll move into, once you look at that, because that's how you got to do it, then you'll move into the inquiries that you see, and then from there you'll move into any discrepancies that you see, okay? If you see discrepancies on there, you are to govern yourself accordingly. You are to contact me so that I can help you. And to help you, I charge a consultation fee. I don't charge you to do it, especially if you can do it yourself and you have the time. Typically, what happens is most people are really scared of credit, and then most people don't have the time. So that's where you run into, these credit companies that are able to presumably clean your credit because you don't have the time or because you're scared. There are plenty of, I'm going to say, what would you call them? Tutorials, and plenty of sites that will help you. But let me just tell you something. With the sites, they're not going to give you everything, right? And because they're not going to give you everything, you still have to learn on your own. But it's a good lesson to learn, okay? So when in business, you have to make sure your personal is good, and then you also have to make sure that you have business credit as well. And I know you said now we're moving into the business aspect of it. And I know you say, okay, business credit. What would I like to do? If you've been doing care, if you've been caretaking, if you have been babysitting, if you have been cleaning, as children, or shall I say, young entrepreneurs, if you've been cleaning yards, if you've been dog walking, if you have been, you can just be going to check on, your neighbors, and they pay you. You're in business, okay? Now, some of us want to know, okay, well, since you named these things, and cutting hair and doing hair is those businesses that you may think that they're not business, but they are. You are in business. They're licensed cosmetologists all day long. They're licensed barbers all day long, right? But those people can be licensed, but they don't have to be in business. They just have the ability per state regulation to be able to operate, if you will. So the children aspect of it, you have to be a legal age of 18 to enter into a contract. So that's when your parents come in. If it's something that you're passionate about, well, then your parents will have to follow up with the steps as it pertains to starting your business legally for you, okay? There are a lot of children that have ideas and organizations, and they're underage, as young as 6 years old. So their parents have to step in when it's a passion of the children and just say, hey, let's do this legally, okay? So if that's you, you can contact me. I can help you with that. On my staff or my affiliates, not to say staff, but my affiliates, we do some of everything, and the information that's on the screen will will let you know where to go as it pertains to my address, my web address, so that you can see the affiliates. We actually have a lot of affiliates because a lot of times there may be some things that you need. Maybe you already have in place, and maybe you are already in business, but there are some things that you don't know. So I have the affiliates there to help you with that, especially if I don't know. Because guys, believe it or not, I do know a lot, but I don't know everything. And I am so excited because towards the end, I have a special announcement. I have someone who just floored me on last week with what she was able to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause. Let's take a break. Thank you so much. And I love that you're here with me.
Oh my God! I just got through watching a great show on Boss Up Houston Network. Have you heard? They're bossing up, okay? And I heard they're looking for you. Any podcasters, talk show hosts, if you're a writer or producer, we definitely need you. Come aboard and boss up.
Are you a small business owner that is struggling to promote your company?
Our topic today is what's your status?
Shoot the dice at this point.
You just shoot the dice. Roll the dice.
So,
Yes.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's attorneys.
Juliana Victoria Blanco.
I love it.
Imagine being televised on a national platform. How about being a host or sponsor on a syndicated podcast? Or being featured on exclusive promotions and interview for your product to your ideal customer? Hi, I'm Kayla Sneed, and I'm head of sales with Boss Up Houston. And here at Boss Up, we like to help small business owners and entrepreneurs advertise, promote, or become a sponsor for one of our television, podcast, or radio shows. All you have to do is click the link down below to see if you qualify. I'll be seeing you soon.
This is Boss Up Houston, where we look up, stay up, and boss up.
What are you doing here?
Red Table Talk, the Estefans. Time to take the table to a whole new place. It's coming to Miami. 3 different women, 3 different generations. We're loud, we're proud. Let's go.
We're talking about relationships, love, sexuality.
Oh my gosh. We all know that you are fuerte. Yes, I'm a tough woman, but I'm very vulnerable.
Like muchas Latinas.
In order to move forward, you have to go to those places.
I like boys. I like girls. I like both.
Honesty will set you free.
We are putting all of that on the table. Red Table Talk, the Estefans. Be a part of the conversation. Only on Facebook Watch.
Hi, beautiful. How are you today? I'm Tisha Dolby, and welcome to Power, Passion, and Purpose, where every woman has the opportunity to discover your powers, your passions, and God's purpose for your life. We will be diving into healing, growing, and maturing, and becoming all that God has for you to be. Tune in every week on Sundays at noon on the Boss Up Houston Network. I'll see you on the inside. Have a great day.
Oh my God, guys. I thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Once again, this is T. Foxy Wyckoff, and we're on the Boss Up Houston Network, and we're talking business and credit, but we're talking business today. You know, before the break, we were talking about the types of business, or not the types of business, I'm sorry, how to know that you're in business. Once again, I stated that if you're the hairdresser, if you are cutting hair, if you're cutting grass, if you are dog walking, if you're babysitting, if you're going to check on your neighbors and they pay you, damn near anything, excuse my language, is a business. I also was talking about there are children that are in business as well. Now remember, in order for a contract to be legal and binding, you have to be 18 years old. So that means that parents of children who are way younger, because I read all the time where the children are starting organizations, that means that their parents have stepped in to help them with their passion as young as 6. And I can tell you that my daughter is 12 and she's in business. She actually makes keychains, she paints, and she makes bracelets. And now she's actually elevating to a higher level of the acting, modeling, and singing and speaking, in which she'll be paid. So she's in business. So we've taken the steps to also legitimize her as well. So, and that comes with, you know, the actual paperwork that's needed. And then the bank accounts and so forth and so on. But we're going to get into that. Because guess what, guys? Get ready. We are about to talk how to start a business. Okay, I'm excited because I love business. Yeah, I really love real estate, but I really love business as well. So I have some passions here. So, how to start a business. How to start a business comes with an idea, right? Once you have an idea, I'm going to task everybody to get a tablet that you're not using only for your ideas. Tap into your passion. I want you to write it down. Habakkuk 5:7 says, write it down and make it plain. I'm paraphrasing, but it says, write it down and make it plain. I write down everything. Guys, I wish I could just show you everything that I have, all of my ideas. They are written down separately because I have a lot of ideas. I have tablets. I teach my children the same thing. Write your ideas down. Even now that I'm talking to you, I have 2 appointment books. I have a personal one and I have my real estate one, okay? Which is my client as well. I try not to mix and mingle the dates. The information that I put into it, because the one that I have for me is my personal and the one that I have for my client is my business. Now, because of the activities that my daughter is tampering off into, I've got to have one for her. But when I went to Walmart, I forgot. So sorry. But I'll have one for her as well. And then the other business that I have a partner with will have one for that as well. So I'm also teaching him to keep everything separate, to take your notes, always to to write down who you're talking to. So that's even better, right? So how do you start a business? Now, you already know if you're taking money, you're in business. If you are doing business as yourself, that's called sole proprietor, okay? Sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship. That's all you, right? Now, you say, well, how does one go about doing that? Well, remember, we want to make sure you are established properly, okay? So how you are established properly is to make sure that you go and get a doing business as. It's called a DBA. Now, typically you go to the city in which you live, and they will direct you as to the steps that you need to take. Now, when you go to the city, some have the business division, and some have Here we go to the annex building. Well, Houston, we go to the annex building for the different areas, if you will. Now in Fort Bend, we could actually go. I actually go out to Jackson, in Richmond, Texas, and actually file my DBAs, if you will. It's very easy. It's probably not going to cost you. Now I'm going to only speak for. I can speak for Texas and Alabama. Alabama required a license, if you will. Texas, you can do an actual DBA. But even with the license in Alabama was, I believe, $36. And then with the DBA here, it was only $16. If you're a veteran, I think it's only $13, okay? Now with that DBA, you can actually, now that certifies you as being in business, right? So if that's certifying you as being in business, you are legitimately in business. Now, once you get that DBA, it is incumbent of you to actually get your EIN, Employer's Identification Number. You can go to the Google EIN. Now, let me tell you what I do. I just Google EIN and I go and I do the EINs for myself or for my clients. But let me tell you, you have to be careful, because if you don't go to the actual IRS site and make sure that it's the IRS site, there are other sites that look like the IRS site. And when you put your information in, they're asking you for money. EINs with any business cost you no money, okay? Now let me reiterate. You go get your DBA. You call the city business department and ask them what are their steps. Because remember, in Alabama, it was a business license, okay? That's if you have a DBA. Here, it's an actual DBA. I mean, that was a business license if you're a sole proprietor, okay? But different, let me just back up and say this, different sectors of government, like municipal is your city, you got state and federal. Those different municipalities require different things. So you got to know what your city or county in which you live in, what they require, okay? So that's just to let you know, FYI, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. So the business license in Alabama, you get your EIN. You're going to get your EIN from the IRS site. When you go and you get your EIN, you're inputting your information. It's going to ask you, you're going to know that it's the actual IRS site, because it's going to say something like, I'll tell you what, let's not, because we're doing business, so bear with me. Well, we're learning how to start a business, so let me put this in, because I want to tell you precisely, because they almost got me with this. I'm going to tell you what it's going to say. Bear with me one moment. Okay, so I typed in EIN number, and it says apply for employer identification number, EIN online. Okay, so it comes up with the IRS to your left-hand side, very left-hand side, upper, okay? And in bold in the middle, it has other prongs, but in the middle it says apply for an employer identification number, EIN online. You're gonna come down, make sure you see that. It's gonna say step 1, determine your eligibility. And then you read that. And then step 2, it's gonna say understand the online application. You read that. And step 3 says submit your application, okay? So step 3 says submit your application. You're going to, there's a blue box and it's going to say apply online. You're going to click on that. Okay, I've clicked on that, and this is what it says. This is how you know you're actually on the IRS site. It reads, SA sa.www.4.irs.gov says the United States government system is for authorized use only. And it says a lot of whole other stuff, but I want to make sure that you see that, okay? Because if you don't see this, that means that you're on one of those sister sites, and when you input all your information, it's going to ask you for a charge. It doesn't cost to get your EIN, okay? So you click OK. From there, that lets you know. You'll see the irs.gov on the left side, and then you'll see EIN assistant, okay? And when you see that, you read the little stuff. Not really necessary, but you can read. I don't read it because I know what it is. So you click on, in the middle towards the bottom, you click on begin application. I clicked on begin application, and it comes to EIN assistant, right? So it says, what type of legal structure is applying for an EIN? You have to go in and to answer the one that applies to you. Now, I'm going to read what it says, but we'll go back. Sole proprietor, that's what we're talking about. So that's the one you would click on, okay? When you click on the sole proprietor, it says includes individuals who are in business for themselves and household employers. Okay, so what household employers mean? Remember what I said, you come and you clean, you walk the dog, you may take people to the store, and they pay you. Let's see, that could be anything in which another person pays you, right? So that's what they're talking about, so that you have clarification, because I don't want you to go and read all this other stuff. It has nothing to do with you if you are a sole proprietor, okay? So you're going to click on the sole proprietor, and then once you click on that, you're going to click on continue, okay? So I'm clicking on continue, and then it goes to the next page, and it says you have chosen sole proprietor. Sole proprietor includes individuals who are in business for themselves or household employers, okay? And it tells you to read. And so it's going to ask you sole proprietor or household employer, okay? And household employer, let me read what it says. You are a household employer if you have hired someone to do household work. That's what I said before, right? So you yourself is a sole proprietor. Household employer would be if I'm applying for the EIN because I have a maid coming in to clean my house, or I have a driver coming in to drive me, and they come to my house, okay? If I was applying for that, I would click on household employer, okay? But when I'm in business and I'm going out and I'm getting the business, that's a sole proprietor, okay? And let me read what their definition of sole proprietor is. A sole proprietorship is a business that has only one owner and is not incorporated or registered with the state as a limited liability company, LLC. A sole proprietor can be self-employed individual or an independent contractor. And you say, wow, independent contractor. What is an independent contractor? That means that my yard man or woman, they came to the house and they said, listen, I can cut your grass for $20 for 4 weeks. $20 a week. They're an independent contractor. So in essence, they're a sole proprietor because they're giving their services, okay, for payment, if you will, okay? Now, let me continue on with the reading. It says sole proprietors, in parentheses, self-employed individuals, report all business income and an expense on their individual tax return, okay? Individual income tax income tax, Schedule C, E, or F. This is what I'm going to do. Let's take a break. I thank you for hanging in there with me.
Hey y'all, I was just calling to tell y'all about my new show. I'm up here down here in the newsroom. You heard me? We talking political news, social news, hood news, jailhouse news, your mama news, baby mama news. We all over in the building, okay? I stay in the newsroom. Make sure y'all tune in to In the Newsroom each and every Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Boss Up Houston Network. Let's go.
Want to be a boss? You're watching Boss Up Houston Network. It's Boss Up Houston, where we look up, stay up, and boss up.
I had to just get some other stuff ready for you guys. I thank you so much for tuning back in. Once again, this is T. Foxy Wyckoff on the Boss Up Houston. Let's talk business and real estate. You know what? We're talking business today. Okay, let's start off where we left off. We were talking about the sole proprietor. Okay, so I was reading to you. First, I read to you household employer, and then I read to you the sole proprietor. So let me just finish with that. One who is a sole proprietor must file an individual tax return, which is a 1040, and the individual tax return will have a schedule C, E, or F. A sole proprietor may or may not have employees, okay? So listen, it's easy to go into business, right? Now, once you click on the sole proprietor, that's what we're talking about. I'm going to click on it now for you all and hit continue. All right. It tells you, the next page says, please confirm your selection. Okay? And it's telling you about sole proprietor, blah, blah, blah. And it's telling you some important things. And so you just read it, and then from there you click continue. Okay, now it gets to that next screen. And the next screen says, of course, remember, it's going to say irs.gov at the far left, and it says EIN assistant. That way, I wanted to reiterate that. That way, you're still on the site. Because maybe you left, you go to the bathroom, and your computer times out. And if your computer times out, that means you got to go back in, right? So when you go back in, you want to make sure that you see these things that I'm saying to you, okay? Because I did this on last year. I wasn't even paying attention, and I said, oh my God, the screen doesn't look right. And when I got to the end, it was talking about some money, and I backed out. And because they already have your email, they actually sent me an email. So you want to be careful. Okay, now getting back to this. On this page, it says, this page reads, why is the sole proprietor requesting an EIN? Choose one of the best that describes you. It says started a new business, hire an employee or an employees. Banking purpose, change type of organization, purchase an active business, okay? So started a new business, that's self-explanatory. Hire an employee, that means that you are already in business, presumptively with a DBA, and you hire somebody to work with you, okay? Banking purposes means that you're gonna take your EIN along with your DBA or your business license and go to the bank and get your business bank account, okay? The next one says change type of organization, where you were maybe, let's see, let me just read what it says. Select this option if you're changing the type of organization you currently operate, such as changing from a sole proprietor to a partnership, changing from a partnership to a corporation, etc. So that's what that means, right? Okay, now the other option states purchase an active business. Select this option if you're purchasing a business that is already in operation. So I know my mother is a master cosmetologist. So I would apply for EIN in this retrospect if I was buying her business, because she has her own EIN. So if I'm going to buy that business from her, that would be the option that I would select. But remember, we're talking about starting a new business. And let me just say this, when I say start a new business, some of you may have already been in business and been doing it for some time. So I would just still put on here, started a new business, or banking purposes, okay? So let's just click started a new business for the sake of conversation. And let's hit continue. Okay, pretty people. Now we are at the next page, and the next page says, please tell us about the sole proprietor. They want to know your first name, your middle initial, presumably you don't have to because there's not an asterisk beside it, and your last name. Now, what I want to point out, I have some clients that are juniors and seniors. So you have to put if you are a junior or a senior on here, okay? Or a dentist or a doctor, or if you have the numbers, you all have the same name, typically seen in men. We have the same name, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. You have to put that in there, right? So that way they can keep up with you. And your number is synonymous to you. What may happen if something happens in the future and you are the third and you didn't put that on there, they could actually try to put some taxes or some unpaid taxes on, on your dad. So you want to make sure that you're filling this out properly. This is super easy. 10 minutes, you're done. Honestly speaking, it's taking us longer than 10 minutes because I'm explaining this to you, okay? And then the next one states your social security number. Don't worry about the TIN because you don't have a TIN, but let me just explain to you what a TIN is, okay? An individual taxpayer identification number is a tax processing number. The IRS issues an I-10 to individuals who are required to have a U.S. tax identification number, but who do not have or have not, who do not have and are not eligible to obtain a social security number. Okay, so I like this because it doesn't exclude people who are not actual citizens. So you can actually get this I-10 number, okay? Even if you're not a naturalized, a born citizen of the United States. So I like that, okay? But Most of my people that I'm around are actual citizens, or they have been naturalized and they have their social security numbers. So for the sake of being transparent, you have a social security number, I'm gonna want you to put that social security number in, so they the IRS can't come back later and say, oh, well, you were trying to be funny or whatever, or trying to withhold something from us or hide something from us, because they're very tricky. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I know from experience. Okay, so the social security number or the ITIN number there. And then the next choice, it says choose one. I am the sole proprietor, or I am a third party applying for an EIN on behalf of the sole proprietor. Well, you're going to see that if you go through LegalZoom, and they have to actually put that there, but they also have to do an SS4, okay? Because they are a third party actually doing it for you. Okay, so once, and I can't go any farther from there because I'm not putting my social security. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me try to do something. One moment. Let's just try to do something here. Let's see if it's gonna work. Bear with me one moment. Okay, so let's see if it'll let me go on. Okay, so because I put something bogus in, it says that we are unable to provide you with an EIN. Because the next section that you do, once you put your correct information in, it's going to take you to the screen that states what are you using this business for, and it's making sure that you're not gambling, and you're not interstate commerce, and those series of questions. On that section, you're going to hit no, and then they're going to ask you what type of business it is. If your business isn't listed, you click other, and it'll give you a space to actually type in the business that you're doing, okay? So with having said that, once you do that, it's going to then go to the next screen, which is the last screen, and ask you, okay, how do you want it? Do you want us to mail it to you, or do you want us to receive your EIN online? So you always say online, and it gives you a place to, it gives you to it right. It gives it to you right then, and it allows you to print it, okay? And you can also save it as well, okay? So your EIN, super simple, 10 minutes or less, and you're done. Do not pay for your EIN. Okay, now we're talking about how to start a business. Once you've got your idea, you've got your business license, you've gotten your, depends on what your entity calls for, your DBA, you got your EIN, you say, oh, it's a Wyckoff. I got this, what am I supposed to do with it? So now it's time for you to go get your bank account. Now, the banker is going to want to see the DBA or the business license and the EIN, okay? You go and you get your bank account at one of the banks. You can also use credit unions as well. You pay the fee, and now you have a business bank account, okay? With that business bank account, you're going to put all of your money in that business bank account, okay? This that you make from your business, okay? This helps you to keep up with your taxes and what you owe. Okay, now let's just talk a little bit about, well, I'm just a DBA, I don't need to pay no taxes. Come on now. Let's be serious and let's do this thing right, because we want to stay in business. We don't want the IRS coming back on us. So the best way to keep up with what you make is to put everything in the account. You can always take it back out and you can pay your bills from there, okay? I would say everything that you do for your business, you need to do it from that account. Also, what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to pay yourself, okay? You may say, how does that look? Well, you made, say for instance, you have all your bills set up at the end of the month or the beginning of the month. You put all that money in there, you pay yourself. You send yourself a Zelle or Cash App or write yourself a check. Better yet, I would prefer that you write a check. Write yourself a check, okay? And then you can pay your bills out of there, okay? It just helps you to keep a better accounting system because if you don't have a CPA to do that for you, and you may not as a sole proprietor, I don't know, maybe someone is in your family that's a CPA, that's even better. Or someone who has a financial background that could actually help you with that. That would be great as well. But we want to make sure that you're keeping good records because they can come in and audit you at any time. They come in and audit you, they're going to want to see those bank accounts. And if you've been paying yourself, you're going to look real good, right? Also, if you pay yourself, that looks good when you go in with your financials and try to get, some things done, okay, that you need to get done. I thank you so much. This has been wonderful. I'm going to take a break and we'll come back. Once again, this is T. Foxy Wyckoff with Let's Talk Business.
Maridate is for committed couples that are either engaged or married and would like to keep the dating in their marriage, fight for the family, and lower the divorce rate one couple at a time. We plan 30 to 50 events a month that include workshops, seminars, webinars, experts, and events all around town. This is for couples that want to develop friendships with other like-minded couples that take their marriage and vows seriously. We will also be offering premarital help so that you will not be a statistic. Would you and your partner like to take international vacations together with other couples and at group rates? When you are home, you will learn your city as you go to each new event. Your membership includes all of our locations. We take the guesswork out of creating, having, and keeping a strong marriage. Contact us today.
Where we look up, stay up.
Our new house is amazing. Great street, huge yard.
There is a bit of an issue with our neighbor's fencing. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Which helps us save even more.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, Peter.
Touche.
What? Tongue out.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
If you like this video, please share it.
And hit the subscribe button to watch more great Geico videos if you... Hey, guys, can you please watch the begonias? Just planted those.
Sorry.
Oh my God, guys. I thank you so much for hanging in there. I hope that you are loving this and enjoying this. This is T. Foxy Wyckoff on the Boss Up Houston Network. And this is Let's Talk Business and Real Estate. But we're talking business today, okay? So we talked about sole proprietor, right? And I gave you the different definitions. We went through the EIN process. Remember, it is free, okay? I already gave you the game. Don't let anybody charge you for it. It's super simple. Take that EIN to your bank, get your bank account, put all your money in your bank account. You can take it out. Make sure you're paying yourself. Now we're going to go to the next thing, okay? There are different types of business. Sole proprietor is one. We're going into the corporation. That's what I am. I'm incorporated. So what I'm going to do is I always like to read definitions, right? Because I'm not going to know these off the top of my head. I just know what they are, and I know what they mean, and I know how they work, but I'm not going to remember them, all the definitions. So I always like to read to you guys. That's the best thing, okay? And it's probably because of my law background. I don't want to give the wrong information, because this podcast is about helping you guys, right? So let's get into it. We're talking about the incorporations now, okay? So, incorporation, okay? So let's go to, you can be Inc., Incorporated, all right? That's another entity. So let's get into the definition. One moment. Okay, incorporation. Let me give you the definition of incorporation. It is a noun. It's the inclusion of something as part of a whole, okay? The process of constituting a company, city, or other organization as a legal entity, okay? So I just read both of them, but two is really what we're looking for, right? Incorporation is the formation of new corporation. Incorporation is the formation of new corporation. You got it? Incorporation is the formation of new corporation. The corporation may be a business, a nonprofit organization, sports club, or a government of a new city or town. Some of you with that money, let's do our own cities and towns. Okay, I went too far, huh? But no, dream big. The sky's the limit, and you can do it. Okay, so incorporation. Now, this has to be recognized by your state, okay? Whichever state you're living in, you'd have to call the Secretary of State for that state to see what their process is and how long it takes. Now, typically when you call in to the Secretary of State, or SOS for short, they're going to go to the direct you to that entity, and they're going to ask you, what is your business name? Now, let me just step back and say, most states you can call and they're going to ask you your business name, and you tell them, and they can look it up right then. Well, let me tell you something. When I called Alabama and I was doing my business, and at the time, which was 2017, I was doing a new business. And the young lady told me, well, it's going to take 3 weeks for us to tell you if the name is available. And I'm like, what? 3 weeks? What? Really? Oh, no. I can't do that, right? Because I'm quick, right? I'm on my feet. I don't have time to be waiting on somebody to tell me. That service should be a service right then, instant. Texas, you call the SOS, they tell you right away, right? Delaware, you call, they tell you right away. I'm naming the states that I've dealt with, right? So I know. You see if your name is available, they tell you it's available, and then you say, ma'am or sir, what do I need to do? Typically, the information is online, but let me tell you something. I really don't believe all the time what I read from that retrospect. If it's a legal retrospect, I believe it because that's my background as well. So you always have to call them to see. They're pretty good at updating that stuff, but I always call and see, especially if it's a state that I haven't dealt with. I'm pretty good with Texas. I'm pretty good with Delaware. I'm good with Alabama. I've never incorporated in Alabama. So with having said that, you always want to call and to see if your name is available, and you want to call and see what their fees are. Okay. When you get ready to incorporate your business or start your business as a corporation, you're going to form a certificate of formation. That is asking you different questions. So what I want to do is, since we're in Texas, let's just go to the SOS Direct. Let's do that. And once we do that, let's go to business service. Let's go to business forms, or let's go to business startup. Select a business structure, and it tells you a corporation has a different ones. Let's go to business. Let's go to fee schedule. How about that? All right, so I'm on the SOS Direct site for the state of Texas, and you can now go to the fee schedule section. So the things that you're looking for, which we're talking about, corporation, if you will. So to incorporate your business in the state of Texas, according to what they have online, which is a certificate of formation for a Texas entity, excluding nonprofit corporations, it's $300, okay? Typically, what's going to happen is when you see that fee, you can also go back and get the business forms, and it'll tell you precisely. So that's what we're going to do. Now we know it's $300, okay? So let's go back. Once we go back, let's go to business forms. Okay. All right. One moment. No, I like to get the right information. Okay, so we have formation of business entities and nonprofit. Okay, so one moment. Let me click on that. Okay, so let me go back and tell you what I clicked on. I clicked on formation of business entities and nonprofit corporations under the Texas Business Organizations Code. So I click on that, and once I click on that, you'll see the form number and the description. So certificate of formation, remember I told you when you get ready to start the business, it's called a certificate of formation. So and it's for a profit corporation, if it's for profit. So we're talking about for profit. So I'm going to, now that's going to be form 201, and I'm going to click on the word PDF. Okay. Once I click on the word PDF, voila, the form comes up, form 201. Okay, and it gives you some commentary, just gives you some vital information for you to read. It tells you how your registered agents need to be, what they can be. But I'm going to say this to you. Sometimes if you're doing this yourself, it could be foreign to you. So if it's foreign to you, I'm going to tell you the states are very good. You can call them, you can talk to them, the representatives, and they can't give you legal advice, but they can tell you what the form is. And if you say, okay, can you explain to me Article 3? And they'll do just a little bit of explaining so that you understand the basic, but they're not going to go into a long drawn detail because the law deems that as giving legal advice. So they're not going to do that. But if you read, you'll be fine, okay? And then that's okay. How many pages is this? Okay, so 3 pages gives you your background information. It actually tells you how to do it, what to do and what not to do, or what they're going to accept and what they're not going to accept. And then you come on down to the 4th page and you have the certificate of formation for profit corporation. Okay, you're just going to, and it's going to tell you how to send it to them. They have their address and they have their phone number and they have their fax number and they have the filing fee to your left. Okay. On the 4th page, and then it just says Article 1 entity name and type. You're just gonna put your business name there, okay? Article 2 is talking about your registered agent, and it tells you very well how to do that. But once again, if you get hung up, give them a call. But write your questions down, because sometimes it takes a long time to get them on the phone. I know I've been on the phone for 40, 50 minutes, almost an hour. But at any rate, what we're going to do is we're going to go to commercial break and we're going to come back. I thank you so much for hanging in there with me. We're on the Boss Up Houston Network.
Oh my God! I just got through watching a great show on Boss Up Houston Network. Have you heard? They're bossing up, okay? And I heard they're looking for you. Any podcasters, talk show hosts, if you're a writer or producer, we definitely need you. Come aboard and boss up.
Are you a small business owner that is struggling to promote your company?
Our topic today is, what's your status?
Shoot the dice at this point.
You just shoot the dice. Roll the dice.
So,
yes.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's Attorney C.
Juliana Victoria Blanco.
I love it.
Imagine being televised on a national platform. How about being a host or sponsor on a syndicated podcast? Or being featured on exclusive promotions and interview for your product to your ideal customer? Hi, I'm Kayla Sneed, and I'm head of sales with Boss Up Houston. And here at Boss Up, we like to help small business owners and entrepreneurs advertise, promote, or become a sponsor for one of our television, podcast, or radio shows. All you have to do is click the link down below to see if you qualify. I'll be seeing you soon.
This is Boss Up Houston, where we look up, stay up, and boss up.
Listen, I told you I had a special announcement. Thank you for coming back and hanging in there with me. This is T. Foxy Wyckoff on the Boss Up Houston Network. Okay, we're talking business. Let me just tell you what I found out. One of my colleagues / girlfriend went into the dealership last week, right? She told me she was going to get a car. I said, okay, all right, Missy. She goes. She calls me back 2 hours later. She says, they're detailing my E-Class. I said, what did you say? She says, they're detailing my E-Class. I said, okay, you bad. You bad. I ain't gonna tell you what else I said, but you bad. Guess what? She went in there with her business credit, her business period, and she was able to walk out with zero money on an E-Class. Listen, guys. This business thing is real. You can do it as well. It's super simple. It's just going to take a little time, but we're going to build you up to that. So if you're interested in any business, credit, real estate, I'm your girl, T. Foxy Wyckoff on the Boss Up Houston Network. We're here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. My information is displayed on the screen. And I love you guys. It was nice being with you on today. I hope everyone is safe and they have a great weekend.
Hi, this is T. Foxy Wyckoff, and this is Let's Talk Business and Real Estate, where faith, hope, and determination comes alive. You can't talk business without talking real estate. The Lord will bless your barns, and He will bless your hands and everything you put them to do. the Lord will bless the property in which He's giving you. Tune in to Let's Talk Business and Real Estate on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on the Boss Up Houston Network.